Looking for the best dividend ETFs for UK investors? These are the 5 best dividend ETFs to buy in 2025. 2 offer global exposure, 1 tracks US dividend aristocrats, and 2 are based right here in the UK. 1 has even outperformed the S&P 500 over the past 5 years, all while paying out steady passive income. Let's dive in. Let's kick things off with a global favorite, Vanguard FTSE All World High Dividend Yield ETF, VHYL, or VHYG if you prefer accumulation. VHYL gives you access to a massive 2,192 companies around the world, including a diverse mix of large and mid-cap firms from developed markets like the US and Europe, as well as exposure to emerging markets. You'll find global powerhouses like JP Morgan and Procter & Gamble among its top holdings. It focuses on companies with a strong history of paying above average dividends. That means you're investing in businesses that consistently reward shareholders. And because it spreads your risk across countries, sectors, and industries, VHYL brings real stability to your portfolio. It also has one of the lowest expense ratios for a dividend ETF at just 0.29%. The current dividend yield is 2.57%, which means a £10,000 investment would generate around £257 per year in passive income. Over the past 5 years, VHYL has delivered a solid annual return of 9.39%, making it a strong choice for income and growth. Next is another global favorite, the SPDR S&P Global Dividend Aristocrats ETF, GBDV. This fund is built for investors who want dependable income from companies with serious track records. It holds businesses that have maintained or grown their dividends for at least 10 consecutive years, and its strict quality criteria mean you're investing in reliable companies that consistently deliver on dividend payments even in challenging markets. GBDV includes 102 holdings with around 51% of the portfolio in US companies and the remaining 49% spread across the world, including Europe, Asia, and emerging markets. Its top 10 holdings feature solid income-focused names like Ultra Group, Verizon, CVS Health, Universal Corp, and Pfizer, which make up around 19% of the fund. It does have the highest fee on this list with an expense ratio of 0.45%, but in return, you're hopefully getting reliability, consistency, and peace of mind, knowing that the fund targets companies that have delivered for over a decade. The dividend yield currently sits at 3.84%, meaning a £10,000 investment will generate around £384 a year in passive income. And over the past 5 years, GBDV has delivered an annual return of 7.93%, making it a strong pick for investors who want global diversification, dependable passive income, and built-in quality. Now let's zoom in on the US with the SPDR S&P US Dividend Aristocrats ETF, USDV. This ETF focuses on American companies that have increased their dividends for at least 20 consecutive years. That makes it one of the most dependable income streams available, with a strong emphasis on consistency and long-term resilience. USDV holds 149 companies, and around 20% of the fund is concentrated in its top 10 holdings, which include familiar names like Verizon, Realty Income, Chevron, AbbVie, and Kenvue. It's well diversified across sectors but firmly rooted in the reliability of long-term US dividend payers. It comes with an expense ratio of 0.35%, which is reasonable for a fund this focused. The dividend yield is currently 2.09%, meaning a £10,000 investment will generate around £209 per year in passive income. Modest, but the focus is on dividend growth over yield chasing. Over the past 5 years, USDV has delivered a solid annual return of 8.88%. So, if you're looking for long-term passive income and dependable dividend growth from some of America's most consistent companies, USDV is a strong choice. We're now moving to ETFs that focus specifically on UK companies. So if you're looking to invest locally and earn income from familiar names, this part's for you. If you're finding this helpful so far, give the video a like, comment below, and subscribe. It really helps the channel and lets me know you want more content like this. Up next is the iShares UK Dividend ETF, IUKD. This ETF is all about high income from UK listed companies, and it's one of the most popular dividend-focused ETFs on the market. It targets 51 of the highest paying stocks on the FTSE 300 500 with its top holdings including British American Tobacco, Rio Tinto, Legal & General, and HSBC, major players with consistent dividend histories. The expense ratio is 0.4% and the dividend yield sits at 5.3%, which is the highest on this entire list. That means a £10,000 investment would generate around £530 per year in passive income, tax-free if held inside an ISA or SIP. And when it comes to performance, IUKD leads the pack with a 5-year annual return of 14.81%, the best on this list. Just note that it's heavily weighted towards financials and consumer staples, which together make up 47% of the portfolio. That focus may support income, but it also means that the ETF's performance is closely tied to how those sectors do. Finally, we have the L&G Quality Equity Dividends ESG Exclusions ETF, LDUK. This ETF takes a more modern approach to dividend investing, combining income with ESG responsibility. It targets high-quality UK companies while excluding those that fail environmental, social, or governance standards. This ETF holds 42 companies, including well-known names like BAE Systems, National Grid, Aviva, Legal & General, Lloyds Banking Group, and Taylor Wimpey. It's noticeably concentrated in financials, which make up around 51% of the portfolio. Something to be aware of if you're aiming for broader sector exposure. Its expense ratio is just 0.25%, making it the cheapest ETF on this list, and the dividend yield currently sits at 4.38%, which means that if you invest £10,000, that would generate about £438 per year in passive income. Launched in April 2021, it's still relatively new, but its 3-year annual return of 8.29% shows promising performance. If you're looking for a UK-focused dividend ETF that blends passive income with ESG standards, LDUK is definitely one to consider. And there you have it, 5 of the best dividend ETFs for UK investors right now. Which one stood out to you most? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If this helped, give it a like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.